Oprah coming next. Once I establish this as a place of truth, oh yeah. Watch. God's people ain't that few.
Oprah is obviously a saintly, godlike figure who's revered by all decent people. Why would she exclude you?
I really don't know.
Crossing over the next plateau.
Yeah. Would you say you lost your mind, sort of?
No.
Have such stressful jobs. How do you unwind to relax at some time?
I think their job is stressful. I think being the Wonder Bread representative might be stressful.
Not compared to real job. I will not disrespect the people here that work hard.
This isn't a real job.
This ain't no real job.
Oprah Winfrey, a name that once stood for power, truth, and inspiration. But lately, that same name has been surrounded by controversy. Comedians, actors, and even authors are calling her out. And this time, they are not holding back. For decades, Oprah ruled the media world. She was the queen of talk, the woman who could build or break a career with a single interview. But now, it feels like that crown is slipping, because more and more people are stepping forward and saying, wait a second, maybe Oprah isn't as pure as she wants us to believe. And these voices are not random critics. They're some of the biggest names in entertainment.
I don't understand this person. So they're crazy. That's bullshit. These people are not crazy. They're strong people.
Oprah said that if Trump wins, you may never be able to vote again. That is
it's just so
the
ridiculous.
craziest thing when you go back and watch him on her show, where she was encouraging him to be president. You ever see that?
Now sees the opportunity. And that's why this is such a victory. Tomorrow, you will hear me doing the dance because...
Katt Williams, Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Whoopi Goldberg, Kevin Hart, even James Frey, the author who once made Oprah lose her cool on her own show. They're not laughing with her anymore. They're laughing at her. And they're finally pulling back the curtain on what's been going on behind the scenes for years. But let's start with the loudest voice in the room, Katt Williams.
Oprah coming next. Once I establish this as a place of truth, oh yeah. Watch. God's people ain't that.
When Katt speaks, the internet listens. And lately, he's been coming for Oprah like never before. In interviews and stand-up bits, Katt has accused her of being part of a Hollywood machine that manipulates, controls, and silences black talent. He said point blank, Oprah ain't no saint. She plays the game. She just hides behind her smile and her money. He even claimed Oprah uses her influence to control who makes it into Hollywood's inner circle and who gets left out in the cold.
Very first time we started our friendship, stayed up that first night and talked all night long. She has always been happier for me and everything that's ever happened.
That hit a nerve with a lot of people because Oprah's entire image has been built on doing the opposite, helping, uplifting, and listening. But according to Katt, that's all part of the act.
Do this in my business. I'm up here doing something that nobody else in this business has the balls to do. I'm telling you something that you need.
He once joked, Oprah don't invite you on her show unless you're already on her team. That's what he meant. She doesn't just interview you. She owns your story. Now, some folks say Katt's just being Katt, loud, wild, and paranoid. But when other comedians start backing him up, you have to wonder if there's more truth in what he's saying. And one of those voices is none other than Dave Chappelle, whose history with Oprah goes way back.
Crossing over the next plateau.
Yeah. Would you say you lost your mind, sort of?
No.
Back in 2006, when Dave Chappelle walked away from that $50 million Chappelle show deal, the media went wild. They called him unstable and out of control. Oprah invited him on her show to tell his side of the story. But when that interview aired, something about it felt off. On the surface, it looked friendly. But if you watch closely, Oprah's tone carried a strange energy.
People were saying, though, that you were on drugs, you lost your mind, you went into a mental institution. What is true, what is not?
Not on drugs.
Not on drugs.
Nah, not for years.
Okay.
No, I'm not on drugs.
And you weren't on drugs at the time?
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm telling you, I was incredibly stressed out. Love is like a nutrient. And I was deficient on vitamin love.
Really? Were you really?
I'm all over, baby. Snap.
No, really, what was going on?
Man, a hero stumbles. for the cowards rejoice.
It came across as condescending and controlling, like she was not trying to understand him, but to correct him on camera. Viewers said it felt like Dave was being cornered, like Oprah wanted to make a point rather than share his truth. Years later, people began saying that was the moment Dave realized Oprah was not just another talk show host. She was part of the same Hollywood system he was trying to escape. Dave never called her out directly. That is not his way. But he dropped clues. He said Hollywood will break you if you refuse to play their game. And when he said their game, fans knew exactly who he meant. Now let's move to Whoopi Goldberg.
Make a movie, regardless of who you signed the deal with.
Yes.
Your job is to go and promote said movie. When they wanted you to come, and we've had this conversation, and I said if you had called me, I could have schooled you on what was
Her history with Oprah is long and complicated. Back in the late 1980s, they worked together on The Color Purple, the film that helped launch both of their careers. But behind the cameras, things were tense. Rumors spread for years that Oprah and Whoopi did not get along, that Whoopi resented how Oprah tried to control the story around the movie or position herself as the emotional center of it. At one point, people claimed Oprah stopped inviting Whoopi to her events, even when they were in the same city. It was not until decades later that Oprah publicly said, "We're fine. We've always been fine." But the body language in every interview told a different story. Whoopi does not fake smiles, and on The View, she has made subtle digs about Hollywood's double standards, about people who claim to support the culture, but only really help themselves. Fans online always connect those comments right back to Oprah. Then there is Chris Rock. Chris is not known for holding grudges, he is known for speaking truth. And when he calls someone out, he does it with that sharp, fearless energy only he can pull off.
Own hair. You got a little extra piece right here, though.
I do not.
Whoa! I do not. Whoa! I do not. I do not. Whoa.
In his stand-up and interviews, Chris has suggested that Oprah represents the side of Hollywood that demands obedience if you want to succeed. He once said, "Some folks make it in this business because they're talented. Some folks make it because they're obedient." That line hit hard, because whenever people talk about obedience in Hollywood, Oprah's name always comes up. The perfect citizen, the one who follows every rule, the one who never challenges the system that made her powerful. Remember, Chris once turned down Oprah's offer for a tell-all interview. He said, "I don't need to be saved on TV." Translation, I don't need Oprah turning my struggles into her ratings moment. Now, let's talk about Kevin Hart.
People throw millions of dollars in my face to do something I didn't want to do. And what? You've been offered, yeah. Oh, they're in the room.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Kevin might play it safe, but even he has brushed up against the same conversation. He has talked about how Hollywood politics determine who gets a seat at the table. While he has never gone after Oprah directly, he has made it clear he does not buy into the fake family image she promotes in Hollywood. When Monique publicly clashed with Oprah and Tyler Perry, Kevin stayed neutral, but fans noticed how carefully he chose his words. He said, "I wish everybody peace, but the business is what it is." Translation, I will not say it out loud, but you know exactly what is going on. Because in Hollywood, crossing Oprah can make your phone stop ringing. Kevin knows better than to say too much, but even his silence speaks volumes. And then there is James Frey, the man who made Oprah look human, and maybe a little heartless on her own stage.
Books I've ever read, but Oprah at one point touted it as she did their Oprah book club where it was she'd get these great books, but then it came out that the story wasn't a true autobiography to it, and he got ripped online.
Into a billion little pieces.
to say his account was falsified, and then he had to go on an apology tour and all this stuff, and it was dude, our entertainment is going to be hyped.
James wrote A Million Little Pieces, a memoir about addiction and recovery that became a massive hit and one of Oprah's book club selections. The book turned him into a star. But when reports came out that parts of it were fabricated, Oprah felt betrayed. Instead of dealing with it privately, she brought James back on her show and publicly humiliated him in front of millions.
Daughters came to you and said, "Look, this guy is doing to me what the allegations are against you."
Then I would have to arrest myself after I did what I had to do.
She scolded him, pressed him, and exposed him for lying, while he sat there red-faced and defeated. For a while, people praised Oprah for defending the truth. But as time passed, that moment started to feel less like justice and more like revenge. Years later, James Frey said in interviews that she did not want an apology. She wanted a spectacle. That line still stings because it echoes what comedians like Katt and Dave Chappelle have said for years. Oprah is not chasing truth. She is chasing control, and that is the thread connecting all these stories. Whether it is Katt Williams exposing Hollywood hypocrisy, Chappelle walking away from the system she represents, Whoopi keeping her distance, Chris refusing to play her game, Kevin choosing silence, or James Frey still carrying his humiliation, every story points to one unsettling truth. Oprah's power might be built on something darker than we ever imagined. For years, Oprah's image was untouchable. She was the woman who gave away cars, built schools in Africa, and turned trauma into television gold. She became Hollywood's moral compass, the person who told people what to read, what to believe, and what to feel. But over time, people started to wonder how much of that was real, and how much was brand management. Because every time someone challenged her, their career seemed to fade. Monique, Iyanla Vanzant, even Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz, each of them started under her wing. And when they stepped out of line, she distanced herself fast. That is exactly why so many comedians are speaking up now. They are tired of being controlled by narratives. They are using humor to tell the kind of truth television refuses to air. When Katt Williams says they play with your image and then sell it back to you, he is not just talking about Hollywood, he is talking about Oprah's empire. When Dave Chappelle says, "Sometimes you have to walk away from money to keep your soul," he is describing that same pressure Oprah represents. When Whoopi gives side-eye to the system on The View, or when Chris Rock avoids the big interviews, they are all saying the same thing. You cannot control the culture forever. Now the internet is catching up. Old clips of Oprah's interviews are resurfacing. Moments where she pushed guests too far, made assumptions, or turned pain into content. People are watching these videos and asking, how did we miss this before? Because back then, Oprah's word was law. But now audiences are questioning everything. The new generation does not see her as untouchable. They see her as part of the same machine that silences uncomfortable truths. That is why the recent 27-minute compilation of comedians calling her out hit so hard. It was not just comedy, it was a reflection, a reminder that even the most powerful woman in media cannot hide behind her image forever. Every smile, every sermon, every heartfelt moment suddenly looks different. Like maybe the kindness came with strings attached. So what does this mean for Oprah's legacy? Legends do not fall overnight. Oprah still has her billions, her influence, her following. But the cracks are starting to show. People are beginning to remember, not just what she gave, but what she took. The guests she humiliated, the friends she left behind, the careers she overshadowed. And the comedians, the truth tellers of entertainment, they are the ones holding her accountable. Katt Williams once said, "Comedy is truth wrapped in pain." Maybe that is what this entire story really is. The painful truth behind the woman the world once saw as flawless. Because in the end, power always comes with a price, and Oprah's price might just be her reputation. So what do you think? Are these comedians just bitter, or are they finally saying what everyone else has been too afraid to say? One thing is clear, the days of Oprah being untouchable are over. The laughter has turned into truth-telling, and that truth has her name written all over it. This is Buzz and Drama, where fame meets reality, and legends meet receipts. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Because there are still plenty of stories Hollywood does not want you to hear. See you in the next one.